and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today we're presenting our Group 3 debate and our title case study.
Tuberculosis.
According to the World Health Organization, age-infected total 1.4 million people died from TB in 2019 and 208,000 for HIV. Worldwide, TB is one of the top 10 leading causes of death in a single infectious agent. TB is present in all countries. However, TB is curable and preventable. Definition of tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that may affect almost any tissue of the body, especially the lungs, caused by organism Mycobacterium tuberculosis, characterized by tuberculosis. TB diseases an illness in which TB bacteria are multiplying or attacking part of the body, usually the lungs. The symptoms of TB diseases include weakness, weight loss, fever, no appetite, chills, and sweated blood. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that can cause by the virus Mycobacterium tuberculosis. On March 24, 1834, Robert Koch announced discovery the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the bacteria that cause tuberculosis. Johannes Cullen was discovered or was coined the tuberculosis in 1834. In 1700, tuberculosis called the white plague. In 1800, it was the consumption, and during this time, TB was called the captain of all white man's death. Immune system protects our bodies in three ways. One, by creating barrier to prevent the bacteria or viruses. Two, by detecting and eliminating invaders before they reproduce. Three, by eliminating problem caused by bacteria and viruses. If the pathogen encounters If the immune system encounters pathogen, for instance, such as bacterium, parasites, or viruses, it viruses, our body's immune response, and either our body will fight or key molecules involved in that exotrophy. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, a species of pathogenic bacteria in the family of Mycobacteriaceae, causative agent of tuberculosis. Humans are the only reservoir for this bacteria. Characteristic of Mycobacterium tuberculosis is an obligate arrow, which is can which is can usually found in the upper lobes of the lungs. Non-spore forming is a high resistance of physical and chemical influences. Non-motile doesn't have ability to move. Facultative parasites that can be used oxygen but also have an aerob method of energy production. It's a very slow growing. Generation time is between 15 to 20 hours. That's why the immune system is very is in our immune system is very hard to eliminate and recognize it. It's a lack classical virus factor. It's a waxy coat due to the presence of mycolic acid. They have a rods measured 2 micrometers length by zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.5 micrometers long. The, the cell wall structure and the cell wall and structure of Mycobacterium tuberculosis is unique among the prokaryotes, and it major determinants for the bacterium. It contains of peptidoglycan and arabinogalactan, by which these two cells are these two cells these two shells are associated the part below the pores structure, causing the decrease of cells permeability that results in reductions of antibiotic effectiveness, and also have the lipoarabinoglycan, which is involved to the interactions of pathogen and the host, and moving the bacterium survive into the microphages. Otherwise, the cell wall complex is composed of lipids, which are the mycolic acid, protein and protein, other blood lipids. It's very important because it has the impermeability to dry and strain, resistance to many antibiotics, resistance to osmotic lysis via complement disposition, resistance to ethyl oxygenation to survive into the microphages, and resistance to killing acidic and alkaline compounds.
The life cycle of Mycobacterium tuberculosis consists five stages. Tuberculosis begins when the droplets of nuclei reach the alveoli. When the person inhales, air contains nuclei, the milk droplet lodge in the upper respiratory tract, which is the nose and the throat, where infection unlikely to develop. However, the smaller amount of nuclei reach the small air sacs of the lung, which is the alveoli, where infection begins. The bacterium tuberculosis inhaled through the air and reaches the alveolar macrophages. This stage called onset. In some cases, during onset, the bacteria were able to reproduce and initiate infections. The symbiosis, which can last 7 to 21 days, the bacteria will reproduce if it isn't killed. So by the stage 3, the initial caseous necrosis and lasts for 14 to 21 days. Tuberculosis begins to develop due to the decreasing rate of binary fusion. The bacteria will kill the non-active macrophages around it and reproduce anoxic conditions and pH level decrease. The interplay of tissue damaging and macrophage activating immune response initiates after 21 days. Mycobacterium tuberculosis uses the inactive macrophages around the tubercle to reproduce, which causes the tubercle to grow. The tubercle then spreads into the lungs. If it spread into the bloodstream, the patient can develop tuberculosis outside of the lung. In stage 5, the liquefaction and cavity formation, a small amount of people make it to this stage. During this period, the tubercles will liquefy at some point, causes the disease to spread faster.
Mode of transmission. Microbacterium tuberculosis is an airborne infection disease. It is transmitted through air and not in the surface area. It can be transmitted when a person have an infectious droplet loop, right? The first to the mouth, going down to the going down to the upper respiratory tract and more deeply until it reaches the alveoli of the lungs. And the bacteria will settle there and it spread to the blood and other parts of the body. A person with active TB can spread through coughing, sneezing, shout out, and laughing. Singing within 1 minute can cause 3,000 droplets. TB does not spread by sharing clothes, sharing utensils, kissing, or sexual contact. Risk and factors. TB affects all age, race, income, levels, and gender. Those higher risk include people who live or work other who have TB, those who have cannot access health care, homeless people, people can people from the countries where TB is common, people In group settings, such as nursing homes, people who have abused alcohol, use injection drugs, or people with a weak immune system, including those who have HIV. Incredibly, young and older adults, healthcare workers who encounter high risk in population. We have signs and symptoms. Symptoms commonly grown in our lungs and can cause symptoms such as cough at least 3 weeks or longer, coughing up with blood, and a chest pain or pain with breathing and coughing. And we have another symptoms that can cause disease for tuberculosis, which is fever, fatigue, wet loss, chills, and sweating at night. We have a latent TB and active TB. Latent TB, latent TB is in this condition you have infection, but you don't have symptoms. Unlike active TB, you be sick and you have symptoms. Diagnosis of tuberculosis. Diagnosis of tuberculosis is very important to diagnose in early stage to reduce the transmission of Mycobacterium tuberculosis and the death. Here are some methods usually used for diagnosing a TB person, but not all stages can be used. The chest X-ray and the chest CT scan belong to the imaging test that they usually use the negative film to show the white spot. It means you have been infected with the bacteria. If the chest X-ray is not a clear image, then the doctor will advise to do the